It is a breezy morning in October, and the campus is bustling with activity. Students are walking to class, chatting with friends, and grabbing a quick bite to eat before their first lecture. The sun is shining brightly, and the air is crisp and cool. The leaves on the trees are starting to change color, creating a beautiful tapestry of red, orange, and yellow. A group of students are sitting on a bench outside the library, enjoying the morning sunshine. They are laughing and talking about their plans for the weekend. Another group of students are walking to their first class, which is on the other side of the campus. They are discussing the previous night's homework assignment and trying to figure out what the professor will be talking about today. Wayan entered her classroom, keeping her book against her chest. She sighed after not seeing her best friends there. She walked to her seat and sat down, feeling a pang of loneliness. Wayan, I guess I have to wait a little more, she thought, sitting on her usual seat, looking out of the window, waiting for her best friend's arrival. Wayan smiled when she felt someone closing her eyes from behind. Wayan, Minji, she said, feeling excited as she turned towards the latter. Minji, how do you find out every time? Wayan, I have my ways, she giggled, winking at her best friend. Jinha, use your common sense, Minji. She has no friends except us, and only you have the habit of closing her eyes. Minji, anyways, did you complete the homework? Minji asked, taking out her notebook. Yes, Wayan smiled. Jinha, we had a homework? Why didn't you tell me before? Jinha quickly said, taking out her notebook, and Minji was laughing at Jinha. Jinha, stop smiling, Minji. And Wayan, can I copy your homework? Jinha, so what's our weekend plan? Wayan, pajama party at my dorm as usual. We'll be singing, dancing, watching binge dramas and movies, and eating pizzas. Wayan says, getting a light smack from Jinha on her head. Wayan pouted, rubbing her head. Jinha, you're so boring. We need to do something adventurous. Jinha says while smiling excitedly, and Minji nodded her head. Wayan, adventurous? Jinha, have anyone heard about the Crescent Villa? Minji, that creepy looking villa which is fully burnt? Jinha, exactly. Minji, I heard that even securities don't stay at that place more than 2 days. They said that they even heard a man's loud cries at midnight coming from that villa. Sometimes they even witnessed someone getting burned inside that villa. Wayan, God, that's so spooky. She mumbled, rubbing her hands on her arms. They sat in silence for a moment, each of them lost in their own thoughts. Jinha, so, wanna explore that haunted villa this weekend? Wayan, are you out of your mind? Minji, I'm coming because I'm not a coward like her. Jinha, that's more like my Minji. Wayan, you can go if you want, but don't include me into this. Jinha, you're coming with us, it's an order. Wayan, I don't care. Minji, baby please, pretty baby please. Wayan, this won't work, so stop it. Jinha, I think I have no other choice other than telling Yunwoo that you have a cute little crush on him. Wayan, don't you dare. Wayan, I'm coming, and anyways I need to ask permission from my dad because I don't want my warden to complain to my dad. Minji and Jinha laughed, hugging her. Wayan was sitting in her dad's study waiting for him while getting bored, and she started to look at her dad's property papers, but one thing caught her eyes. My dad owns Crescent Villa? Wayan said in her mind, looking at the files. Wayan couldn't believe it. She had always heard stories about the haunted villa, but she never thought her dad would own it. Her dad smiled while entering his study room, and Wayan quickly hid the papers behind the desk. Dad, Wayan said while hugging him. What brings you here? Because you never visit your dad? Mr. Kim said while pinching her red cheeks. It's not like that, Dad. I'm just stuck with my studies. And Dad, can I go to Jen's cousin's pajama party this weekend? I'll come back to my dorm before 3 a.m. Pretty please. Wayan said cutely while showing her cute smile. Come back safely, okay? Her dad said before tapping her cheek slightly. And Dad, do you know anything about the Crestmont Villa? Wayan muttered softly. She noticed that her dad's expression changed and he looked terrified. Listen, Wayan, her dad said holding her arms. Never think about going to that haunted place. Teenagers like you have gone to explore that place, but they never came back. But what happened to them? She asked out of curiosity. I don't know, but it's not worth the risk. The villa is haunted. There are evil spirits. Wayan was shocked. She had never heard that anyone had disappeared from that villa before. Yeah, Dad. She stuttered while looking down on her shoes. She swallowed hard. She didn't know what to believe, but she could tell that her dad was serious. Wayan, okay, Dad, I won't go to that villa. Dad, that's good. Now promise me that you'll never talk about this to anyone else. I promise, Dad. Wayan said sadly, resting her palm over her dad's palm, already feeling bad for lying to her dad. Her dad let go of her arms and smiled. Good girl. Now let's go get some dinner. It was currently 12 a.m. and the three friends were standing outside the Crestmont Villa, and Wayan was clutching onto them like a koala. God, please save me. Wayan chanted a religious mantra which was taught by her late mom. Jinha, stop being a scaredy cat and come, let's go inside. Jinha exclaimed, already feeling annoyed by Wayan's childish behavior, and Minji nodded her head. Wayan, slow down, Jinha, you're going too fast. Wayan mumbled, clutching Minji's palm tightly. Jinha stepped inside the living room. She saw the living room had a chandelier hanging from the ceiling. The room was filled with old furniture. The furnitures were covered in a thick layer of dust. Some of the furniture was burnt and scorched, as if it had been in a fire. Wayan was about to follow Jinha into the living room. When she stopped, she heard a deep voice whisper her name in her ear.
Wayani.
I guess a happy couple used to live here, but I don't know what happened with them. Wayan pouted, getting sad thinking about the dead couple. Wayan felt a chill run down her spine. She could feel the presence of something strange in the room. She gasped and opened her eyes, but the image was gone. She shook her head and tried to forget about it. but the image kept coming back to her. Wayan came out of her trance when she heard Jinha's voice calling for her. She quickly ran outside the room, brushing the thought away from her mind. Where were you? Minji asked in concern with a frown on her face. I was exploring a room. Wayan smiled. Jinha took an Ouija board out of her bag. Jinha, I brought an Ouija board with me because we are going to call a spirit. 12 a.m. is also known as devil hours. Jinha muttered excitedly.
Come, let's have a nice talk then.